this computer. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Your Unique Career Personality Blueprint. My name is Gigi Vencio, and we are live today. And this is the first of the series of Your Unique Career Personality Blueprint. We're going to be going through what does it look like on the inside of your DNA, mapped out in a body graph chart. How are you designed? What are you good at? What are you naturally good at? What do you love to do? What lights you up? How can you take your unique design, which is your human design in the system, and apply it to your business, creating a business based on what you're good at. And the BG5 system is very, very cool because it's very practical, and it shows you how to take your design and apply it to your design for creating the ideal business structure for you. So it's important that you have the right structure for your business. There's 5 different types, actually 4, and then 2 variations of one type. And it's very important you have the ideal structure for how you create your life and your business, because you can have the right pieces but the wrong structure. And BG5 is essentially the business application. And why it's 5 is because it takes about 3 to 5 people with very specific gift markers that make your dreams come true, the dream team. And we all have some of the 64 codons of our DNA giftings, and other people have some of them. And so when 2 people come together with, say, like there's an A and a B of all of these traits, and when 2 come together, one has the A and one has the B, or the positive and the negative charge, you could say. When those come together, it creates a strength. And it takes about 3 to 5 to create your ideal team of what it's going to take. And so first we're going to look at your chart, how you're designed. And then we're going to look at the ideal people and the ideal place for you. There's an ideal place for you. I moved across the country as far as you could possibly go, from San Diego to Florida, to be in my ideal place and energetic line. And because your chart's going to flourish in a very particular place. So it might not be where you are. So you might be called into a land far, far away, like I was. And yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting because you are looking into the center of you, you behind the curtain, you in all your glorious energetics. And it's pretty cool. It looks like a kind of a glorified spaceship of like, what in the world is this? But we will get through it. And you're going to love how you're designed. You're going to get to learn to love yourself and understand yourself, which is very, very exciting. If anyone has any questions about what we're doing, please post it on the I guess on the Facebook Live, because it looks like it's Roman and I in the live. And so Roman's going to be chiming in with anything he has to share as his unique type, which we'll find out he's an initiator, which is the pioneers, the guys who starts things, the guys who lead the way. And it's pretty exciting. So we're going to go through in this hour, we're going to go through kind of the backstory, the journey to finding this blueprint, how 2027 plays into this, which there's a shift of this 400-year cycle that's happening. We're coming from a 400-year cycle into a different 400-year cycle. And the old one that we're in, the background frequency, you could kind of imagine it's like that, is shifting in February of 27. And so it's completely different vibes, so to speak. And so I'll share what those are and what we're moving into. And then I'll show you how to download your chart if you haven't done that yet. There's 7 specific career codes that are ideal for your life and business structure. We'll go through, and then we'll discuss a little bit about next week. And if you would like to have a designed overview of your chart, of the first parts of your code, I'm happy to talk to you about that, and we can schedule a call and go through your chart and see kind of what you'd like to design with your unique design. So this is very exciting. And I just want to share a little bit about how I found this system to give you some context of how powerful it's been in changing my life around, rewiring my life, of just restructuring, yeah, reinventing, reinventing my life to be this extraordinary thing where I'm using all of my giftings, not just parts and pieces of like what I was doing before. Yeah. So, not too many years ago, my business partner abruptly passed away, and I found myself in not just grief, but I lost my path and my purpose. And the one thing I had built my identity around was this like big art movement and this festival and all these artists that I was empowering. And he was the guy who was leading the way with me. He was my like right hand man and my partner, the one guy who I felt like I could really trust. And business partners like that don't come too easily. There's a lot of team, but he was this like my main guy. And so I was numb for a long time, and underneath it, I think I was just desperate for healing. Anybody just been in that place where you just need to heal from something? And I had never experienced that grief before. So I was really looking for something new that would anchor me back into who I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to do. And that's when I walked into my first NLP training. I remember sitting in the room and I was watching these people who were partnering up for these life-changing transformations and exercises. And there was like hundreds of mini conversations going on. And we were releasing years of baggage. And I just felt this feeling of relief and pressure like coming off of my body as I realized for the first time that 95% of our decisions is coming from our subconscious mind. It's just like this regurgitated emotions and thoughts and feelings and pictures from the past. And so I just realized like, oh, I'm not broken, I'm programmed. And then I had just discovered the path of like how to reprogram my mind for success. So it just, I felt like a whole new world had opened up into me. And so, but then when it came to go deeper to sign up for this master prac training, my body said yes, but my fear said no. So I walked away, even though inside I was like, yes, this is the right thing for me. I didn't actually know my design at that point. So I didn't know that I could make a decision from my gut. And so what I did was I talked myself out of it with my logical reasonings, like it's too expensive, it's not the right time, I should wait. Why learn all that stuff? And I didn't trust myself. So I had all this shame, and I had carried for a long time just self-doubt and lingering belief that there was something wrong with me because I had lost so many jobs. Like my background in with work is just unbelievably like job loss after job. I literally thought that something was wrong or didn't form at birth or something like that. I got extreme sense of just like, what is the matter? I poured myself into so many vehicles. I studied human design, but without the BG5 structure, I didn't know how to apply the system. So none of it made sense until I took the BG5 business professional aspect of it and then was able to break it down practically into a business structure. Because I had tried home study courses, I had tried coaching programs, chasing my passions, starting and quitting project. I mean, I got into solar energy. I thought that was going to be a big thing. I chased after the money, and it was never it. It was never about the money. I made a lot of money doing that. It just didn't feel like me. So dissatisfaction comes when we're chasing money and not using our design. Like, and somebody just jumped on. So hi, nice to have you. I don't know who it is, but hi. Okay, so fast forward, moved to Florida, and things changed. Energy changes when you move. One of the things I do is astrocartography consultations, which looks at how you're designed and how that moves with where you move to. So there's an ideal place for you to live. So moving to Florida, there was a completely different energy. And it took me a while to kind of get everything in order, because what I came here to do, what I thought I was going to do, wasn't it when I came out. So I had a really good idea in my head of what I was going to do. And I was going to focus on this, like being an artist and building this art business. But I started to study BG5, and BG5 showed me that I'm not designed to be a builder, go, stuck in an art studio all day. How I'm designed is to take creative things and then like apply that into a business. So it's a difference of creating a art business versus being artistic in my business. That was such a aha. And so now I'm like creating art and design and graphics and beautiful things that I enjoy creating, but I'm not like stuck in a studio trying to sell art, which I never really liked selling art. So anyway, I had a few instructors that really showed me. It was Beth Davis about human design. And then I found BG5, and it brought me into this strategy and clarity. And then finally, I found NLP Master Prac Training, and I was able to go all in on what I had wanted to do 5 years ago. So, interesting story. I found myself full circle in another NLP training. And then I had that same gut feeling 5 years later. I had the same gut feeling 5 years later. And this time, because I knew my design and I had practiced it and studied it, I jetted to the back of the room and I swiped my card and I signed up. And I didn't have to think about it because I knew in my gut it was the right thing for me. And part of the system you'll learn is like what's very practical day to day is how do you make decisions that are right for you so that you can actually know what you're aligned with and what you're not aligned with. This is really about the alignment. So when I went to Master Prac, it was a life-changing, transformational breakthrough that I had waited 5 years for. And that literally changed my life. I went in with so much baggage, and I came out just free. Since then, I've done 4 breakthrough sessions, one around career, relationships, health, and creativity. And with every one of those, they lifted off layers and layers and layers of subconscious baggage and programming that I didn't even know was there. Just feeling like I had been a failure, deep-seated beliefs about money, heaviness that I carried into my body of just like being afraid to show up, to use my voice, to speak at the wrong time. I just felt like I was always off by a second or something. And I was able to then just start creating freely, just going, not thinking about, not second guessing, just knowing, like trusting, confident. And those emotions are so powerful because that's literally how we're designed. I'm going to change the lighting in the room. 1 second. Sun is coming down. um, so yeah, so with these breakthrough sessions, I felt light, free, clear. I was creating again. And the major thing that really shifted for me was a feeling of self-love. I think the biggest breakthrough that I had was that I am loved. I just felt since I was a kid that I'm not loved. And just grew up in regular home, but just because of some trauma I experienced, I made up a story in my little girl head that I'm not loved. And I was able to break through this belief system, and man, so many things change. And then I have been working with people who I've done these breakthrough sessions with. The very first woman who I had as a client, she um, she knew what to do. She wasn't doing it. She couldn't do it. She was in real estate and she wanted to start her own business. She was like frozen, couldn't get to work. And then afterwards, she literally just like cleared this invisible wall and just started going for it. Like she was empowered and inspired and doing the dang thing. Her real estate business just became on autopilot. And then she like started getting all these clients just out of the woodwork, like just falling from the sky, pretty much. It was pretty spectacular. And then another client within 2 weeks made $40,000 in his business. He had been so stuck. He was he was uninspired. He was indecisive. He was stressed out over his mind. And 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, um, there's so amazing. So I waited 5 years for this whole thing, but once I knew my design, I was able to like have opportunities come to me and say yes really easily or no really easily. And then I could keep moving forward and skipping over things and and just knowing if it's right, yes or no. And pretty basic. Um, so I was able to really align with like how I'm designed and what I'm good at versus what other people say. Like, oh, you would be great at this. Oh, you would be great at sales, Gigi. You would be great at solar, Gigi. And how many times have we stepped into a role or a career or a business or partnership, and then that just took us off track for how many years? How many years have we been in unaligned partnerships, unaligned businesses, unaligned roles? And then we look back and it's 5 years later. We're 30, now we're 35, now we're 40, now we're 45, now we're 50, now we're 60. So yeah. So so what I've created with this whole thing, this whole system is what I spent years searching for. So what I created is it's like a framework for understanding how you're designed, what you're designed to do, and then with NLP, I can basically remove all the baggage in the subconscious mind because we can see it with the chart with the BG5, and then we can remove it with NLP and breakthrough therapy. And so um, we're going to do our best to move fast through this information, so you can understand your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, and then structure a business around your true career path, and then monetize your gifts, and then build the right team, and then wake up every day rejoicing in your work, because that's literally what it's about. So I created this painting. Nothing is better than a man rejoice in his works, for that is his portion. This is from Ecclesiastes. And I literally love this. I hang it right above my computer because rejoice. It's all about rejoicing in what you do, enjoying your work. So, yeah, releasing shame, confusion, fear of being seen, deep-seated beliefs that I was broken, deep-seated beliefs that I wasn't loved, and now feeling passion and joy and alignment and celebration. I mean, this is my portion. This is what God has given me to be blessed with to work. And I wasn't always a worker. Like I said, I come from a background of being so broken in my work and career that to find that I'm actually designed a very specific way that's different and unique than everyone else was like life changing. So I'm so thrilled for you guys to see this, understand it, learn your chart. And I wanted to give some backstory just so you can see like how powerful it is of like anything can be healed and recovered um, with this. So I'm gonna share my screen and then show you into your design. If you guys have anything to share at this point, would love to hear any insights or ahas or anything that you've gotten. Um, share screen options.
Well, I'm just curious to find out like what's a good business and role for me because I've had multiple jobs and nothing's really fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Well, what do you have energy to do?
Uh,
If you have energy towards something and it comes naturally to you, or you enjoy it and you don't actually resist it, it's a kind of a key indicator.
yeah, well, I mean, I haven't really had a lot of it in the corporate world, but it's just like solving issues. And there's just been a couple times in my life where, um, like, we were stranded out in the middle of nowhere on some land, and the person forgot their key to the shed, and my dad got the truck stuck in the mud. And I don't know, I just knew exactly what to do. I got the tools. I broke in through the skylight. I knew that we could jack up the truck, throw rocks underneath the tire. There was some plywood. We put some tree. I mean, it just got us out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And just a very fast initiative movement. I didn't need permission. I didn't need anything or anyone to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew what I was doing. And I don't know where it came from because there was probably like a good 4 minute pause. People didn't know what to do. I looked at the adult. So I was probably like 13, 14 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the adults, like, what do we do? You guys are the adults here. They didn't know. But it was just like something that just overcame. And I initially get that when I start a job. Very fast paced, moving, very inspirational. And then I just get like bored. So I just know like
Mm-hmm.
the typical 9 to 5s are not like in alignment with me anymore. So I'm not sure what that looks like in the future moving forward.
Well, what I hear or what I see when you say that is I see how your brain was working where you saw A B C D E F G all at the same time, whereas everybody else didn't see that. And so you were able to see all these steps of what it would take. Say there was like 12 steps in this whole thing, and your brain pretty much was able to grasp all of those and then just go.
Yeah. Well, I just knew like I knew we had to be able to get into the shelter and get out of the mud, or else one of us would have to walk
Mm-hmm.
10 miles to the highway whenever there was like, cell phones at the or the signals and stuff. So I just knew how to get to the end point fast.
Mm-hmm. And you enjoyed that.
Oh, it was fun. And I love when I'm able to do that. There was even
So
a
it's an
situation in my
indicator.
past that, huh?
It's an indicator. It's like a little highlight reel that's showing you, yes, you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
All of that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get a lot more insight as we go into this. So I'm gonna share. Uh, so I'm gonna share a little bit more about the times that we're in. so that we can get a little bit clearer of what's changing. And if you guys can feel the energy of what's changing in the background, please share. But we are living in such a transition, and it's gonna be a shock when this happens, because we're in a frequency that is about to break down completely, and it has to do with physics. It has to do with codons, DNA, and something called neutrinos, which are kind of like little energetic messengers with backpacks of information, and then it just goes sprinkling information throughout the day. Like, this is your divine download for the day. This is your divine download for the day. And there's billions of these little neutrinos, like little smaller than atoms, going all through the universe. And this shift and tide of these neutrinos, this energy particles, is changing, and it's going from this era of planning, which started around the Industrial Revolution in 1615 in Scotland, when that happened, and it goes till February of 27. So we're going from this energy where this has been very much the vibes of the times. Skills, I bring my skills, you bring your skills. There's this work dynamic, there's bargains. I give you this, you give me that. We do it for the betterment of community. There's institutions, community, tribe, police stations, school systems, education systems. All of that has come from this this frequency that shifts every 400 years. We've been in focused concentration, systems of power, trusting authorities. And as you can see, what's happening is people don't actually trust authorities anymore. We don't actually trust politicians or hardly anybody on the news, reporters, like name an industry that we actually like trust it. And we just see that how much corruption has taken over every single industry. And it's because this whole era is actually breaking down. And the sooner we get acquainted with this very privileged, very gatekept, very secret information, the sooner we can actually thrive in our the era of the individual, and in our individuality and how we're designed. So this was more about, the planning area was more about, go get a job, work the 9 to 5. My dad always said, go get a job, any job. And I was just like, no, I don't want to work at Home Depot. And he's like, work at Home Depot. I was like, no. He's like, work at Costco. I was like, no. I just resisted. And we're actually like going out of that era, and we've been going out of that era, so we can feel that it's changing. We can literally feel it. And we're going into this new era of the individual, where it's really about your unique gifts. And so not aligning with your unique gifting is not going to do you any good. You're going to be swimming upstream. So really discovering your gifts, how you are as an individual, empowering yourself, personal transformation, contemplating yourself and your life and how you want to reinvent and recreate and come in alignment with your design. And then there's a spirit of abundance. It's an energetic awakening. There's a mutation going on in our emotions, and it's this abundance of spirit that's coming alive within us. We're kind of like done with religion, and we want to just connect with God and spirit and like source and divine creator God. And I mean, this is what's coming alive in all of us, is this divine, this connection with God is right here, right now. I think there's going to be like revival, to be honest. I think there's going to be a big revival, like a Azusa Street level revival, like not inside of a church, but like in parking lots and just open spaces. Also, trusting your gut instincts is really important to understand how you make decisions, how you get divine downloads, and how you can like actually move forward with that. And so this is also about breaking down barriers to bonds with others, where we've been very much about community and tribe. This new individual era is more about like one-on-one connection. We want more partnership than community and tribe. Yeah, any questions about this part before we move on? It's really, really exciting. It's kind of like the matrix that's happening in the background. And this is a big reason why it's important to understand our chart and our design and how to apply it, because we're going into an era that's like completely different than where we've come from. How to get your chart for free, bg5businessinstitute.com, and then click on reports tab, and then free BG5 career design chart. You guys have all gotten it, but for anybody else listening online, that's how you get your chart, and then just download it, and you'll get access to all the basic information, which we'll decode more in this guidebook. So why BG5 is so cool and unique is because it shows you like the 3 to 5 people who you need to complete your dream team, to make your purpose come alive, to make your design come alive. It takes these 3 to 5 people. And so if you see this picture on the top there, there's, let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know if it's actually zooming in. Let me see. It's zooming in. Is that zoomed in? Yeah, it looks like it's zoomed in. Okay, so these gift markers, these codons in your DNA, these traits, which is in the middle center of your energetics, these 12 codons, these 12 numbers, is what makes up these 12 traits of what it takes to fulfill your business. And you have some of them, probably you don't have all of them. I have the 1, I have the 7, I have the 31, I think I have the 14, and the I think the 5. I've got 4 of them. And this is what happens when you come together and a team of 3 to 5. So these are the skills: reliability, culture, capacity, coordination, commitment, and vision. These are self-managed skills. They're on the lower part of the chart. The 15, the 2, the 60, 46, the 5, 14, and 29. So creating reliability in a team, creating culture. And culture is one of the ones that I have. Capacity, coordination, commitment, vision. We need all these things in a team. Somebody needs to have the vision. We got to have commitment, got to coordinate the team. Capacity is like the skills, the money, the resources to make it happen. I have capacity. I've always been able to get the money for any project I'm doing, or the resources, the people to get the money. Skills to be managed are the upper skills on the upper part. So administration, public relations, oversight, planning, implementation, accounting. Those 6 skills are managed on the top, on those top traits. So as some people don't like to be managed, but those are ones that are going to need to be managed. And implementation, I have that one. So I don't have the planning, but I'm able to implement the plan. And administration, I think I have administration as well. So in your chart, you can see if you have any of these highlighted: 31, 8, 33, 1, 7, 13, 2, 15, 46, 5, 14, and 29. And you can see if you have any of those. And then when you start to share this, which is why it's important to share this and have community around this, invite your friends to this series, is so that they can see what they have, what you have, and then you can start to develop partnerships with the ideal people that have the traits that fill the other side of your design. And so on this chart, you can see the conscious and the unconscious. The conscious is the black lines and the unconscious is the red. And everywhere where there's a white line on the other side, it's where the line is requiring the other person. So in the small group dynamic, it's this, let me see if I can zoom in. It's these bottom numbers on the throat, in the center there, and then in this middle square. So those three pieces are what makes up the penta or the BG5, the base group 5. And so see how this is my chart. See how there's a 5 and then the 14. I have the 5 and the 14, but I don't have the 15 or the 2. I have the 31 and the 1, but I don't have the 8 or the 7, the other side. So the 1 is creativity. And then 8 is the PR, public relations, marketing. So for me, I've always been really good at making art, but not good at selling it. I've always needed somebody to help me with marketing and design, or marketing the designs. Yes, puppy. My puppy's acting up. It's time for some attention. He wants to say hi. Hello. This is Moxie. She's squirmish. Time for her. Time for something. I don't know what. Yeah. Playtime's later. So yeah. So the everywhere where there's a line, you need somebody who has the other side of it. So it's really good to start to bring your friends into this so that they can see how their design, your design, and you can start to find partners and people who can align with what you're trying to do. Yes, my dear. Okay. So let's see, going down instead of out. So these these are the basic life aspects. Goodness. Learn how to use a mouse. Okay. So there's these life aspects, which on the BG5 chart, it doesn't spell them out. So I spell them out here for you. And essentially the majority, the lion's share of your chart is going to be on this top conscious energy of on the top right side there, which is going to correlate with part of your body. So there's the 60 there, and it's down here in the root of the body, the base of the body. So the energy of this one is kind of like the overall energy of my life, my brand, what I'm up to, what I'm doing. And that's in the root. So kind of like what I'm good at, my design is I'm good at starting things, helping people starting things. I'm like a catalyst for things. And it's that energy that's coming up and going up into the rest of the body. It's like the baseline. And so that is going to be the strongest in your chart, that top right conscious. You're very conscious of it. You're aware of it. And that's your core essence. And these all connect with the energy of the planets and the moon and the sun and the stars, just like various other things, the tides and our women's periods, and one of the types has to have 30 days to be able to make a decision. Okay, so there's the core essence. So, okay, and then the right side is your conscious, you're aware. The left side is in your body. You feel it more unconsciously. This is your subconscious mind. So you have the core, the life aspects on the conscious and the subconscious. So you have your core essence, your grounding and balance, your driving force, your future direction and environment, and your past direction and environment, F and P. These are really important lines because they're opposite of each other. So your future energy is usually it's like literally direct opposite energy. So for me, My past was a lot of wandering and playing and just like connecting spiritually. Um, it's kind of the Piscean energy where I'm like finding connecting with God and universe, and it's very watery and flowy. And then the energy of the opposite energy, the north energy, is the opposite of that, which is the more of the Virgo energy, which is very structured. And so I have come from a very playful, flowy, watery energy into developing into being a very structured person, which goes against my whole energy of all of my past. So if you ever wonder like why it's taking so much energy to become this person, is that the energy is literally the exact opposite of where you've been. So we'll look more at that, your future and past direction. And then C is your communication and thinking. So like how you're designed to think and communicate in your business. Your values in your business, in your life, conscious and unconscious. Maturing energy. This is the M. This one's very, very cool. So I am maturing and you are maturing into this line. We'll get into the after the decimal, what that means. And this is essentially your desk work. This is what you're designed to do on a day-to-day basis. See, I have a 0.1 there on the left on the unconscious side. 0.1, line 1 is content creation. I'm designed to create and write and create books and journals and creative things. Like I'm designed to create. That's the line 1. But it's maturing energy. So it's going to take me stepping into my future energy, which is to be structured, to be able to sit down and focus and write, which is not my past. My past is very all over the place, all over the map. I just feel like going to the beach. I'm going to play all day. But I'm moving into structure. So you have a past energy, a future energy, and desk work of what you're designed to do, which you love, but it takes maturing. So that's why it's called maturing energy, because you're actually designed to do it. I love writing. Every time I write, I'm like, I love this, but I get to mature, to be more structured, to do it consistently, to be able to create. And this 14 is this capacity. Those are the power skills. That's actually the skill on my own at the 14 is this like power skills. And when in a small group, those 12 skills we talked about, they actually move into another dynamic. So it becomes this skill of being able to create money and capacity for the group. And so if you have me on your team, I know where to get the money. I know how to find the investors and the, and the resources. And Maureen's got the accounting, and Roman's has the I forget what you had, Roman. You had the, I think the 7 or something. Forget what it was. We looked at that the other day.
You had a number 2.
It was a 2. What was the 2 again?
I think vision.
Oh yeah, it was opposite of the 14. So I have the 14. Roman's got the 2, and Roman and I have like a lot of the opposite ends of the like the traits. So we create a lot of strengths together. So I have the 14, which is how to get the money, and what Roman has is where to put the money, where the money goes. Like where do we put all this money that we get? So it's a really cool dynamic when you have people that you can start to chop up these ideas with and create with. We actually literally have the skills that are necessary to create what we're out to create. Personal law and protection. That actually goes into your team, your structure, how you're designed to structure your business. Judge and discipline, your uniqueness and unusualness, what's hidden, and transformation and truth. So yeah, a lot of stuff in there. And the more you understand this about yourself, the easier your life is going to become. It's really worth studying this, really getting into it. I resisted it for a long time, and I basically just came back to it years and years later. So Okay, so there's nine separate functions. It starts out with this drive and stamina. And each of these traits that you have, by the way, are going to fall into a part of your body. So see how there's a 60 and then the 56? The 56 is in my throat. So my grounding and balance and how I speak up and create is through speaking and storytelling. So I'm like literally designed to share stories with you, to actually bring you into kind of where I've come from so you can see for yourself like how you can like step into your story. Storytelling, we've all heard many times, is very powerful, but you know, when you have it as in your chart, it's like even more important to like, you know, use that. Okay, where else? Where's next? Zoom out. Yeah. Okay. So there's these functions, 9 functions. So the the we came from we used to have 7 energy centers, like the chakras kind of were a piece of the puzzle. We actually had an energetic transformation mutation, if you will, and now there's these 9 energetic centers. In a lot of physics, they talk about this G center, this magnetic monopole we have in the center of our body that pulls things into us. It's our identity center. That's in this that's like literally, if you have any traits in there, that's how you identify who you are. And I have the one, I've always identified as an artist. Like it's the one trait that I have in that identity center. So that's why I always thought I am an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an artist. But I didn't factor in all these other things. And when I factored in all the other things, like I'm an advisor, I'm a guide, I'm a this, I'm a storyteller. I speak into people's health and nutrition, and there's so much more than just painting. And there's so much more to you than just each individual trait. Okay, so we have the root and the stamina at the bottom, which is the energy to get things started. Energy resource, which is kind of like that go, 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 go energy, if you have that defined. Your survival instincts is your splenic energy, your instinctual awareness. It's like gut decisions, like you just feel it right away. Emotional intelligence, your emotional awareness. This is where we're having a big transformational energy with that 55, that spiritual energy. We are going from an energy of making decisions with our head into making it with our emotions, into our emotional intellect and our gut instincts. So if you're trying to make decisions from your head, get out of there, get into your body and feel it energetically. There's a big transformation going on in this emotional intelligence. Then there's willpower, your heart energy, the identity and direction center, your throat, your communication and action, your expression, your conceptualization, how you come up with ideas, conceptualize, mental awareness, and then inspiration is your head. And these 9 functions determine your career type, your decision-making strategy, your consistent strengths, what you can rely on, what you give to others, almost like the music that you play, and your vehicle for moving through life. And then if anybody is an evaluator, that undefinition, those are all going to be white. If someone's an evaluator, the whiteness is what gives them the uniqueness, the undefinition. So the white is what you pick up from others. That's where we can have a lot of conditioning, a lot of not self, a lot of inability to be consistent in that area. So for me, I don't have the energy resource lit up as an advisor. And so for me, trying to create a business as an artist, being in the studio all day, I don't know why, but I resisted it for so long. Like I love painting, but I don't want to be in the studio just whipping out painting after painting. And I thought that's what I had to do as an artist. And so I was just stuck for so long because it wasn't the right structure. So as long as we get the structure right and aligned, we can use all of our gifts. So yeah, so it's what your white centers is where you learn, where you can be flexible because you have inconsistent energy there. But the defined centers is really how you're designed to function. Your fixed, reliable energy. And others pick up on that energy. So we are always kind of looking for someone that has the certain function filled in where we don't have it filled in. So if we have it white, we want that connection with somebody who has that filled in and we feel like, oh, you complete me. So an overview of how this works is there's the 9 functions, which is your centers. There's 4 career types, the builders, advisors, initiators, and evaluators. There's 2 different types of builders, express and the classic. We have 36 strengths, so 64 traits, and then each of those connects to another one. So the 1 and the 8, for example. The 1 is one trait, the 8 is another, and then the strength is when they come together. So for example, Roman and I have the 14 and he has the 2. So together there's a strength. And then there's variations with the lines, which is the decimal after the strength, which creates a whole new vibe of the thing. And then there's 12 public roles, which is like your 1 or there goes 1 to 6. So on this one, it's a 5-1. So it's the decimal after the right side and the decimal after the left side. So 5-1, and it's those top 4 on the chart, the core essence and grounding balance. And then, okay, so for how to learn by career type. So for you, Roman, you are an initiator. So what you focus on or how you learn is to identify who you impact on a daily basis. How do you impact them? And then study and understand their charts. Like you really want to find out how your energy is impacting them. And then for you, Maureen, you're an express builder, is that right? A manifesting generator?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're really to understand your design. All builders, express builders and classic builders, understand your design. And then as an advisor for myself, I'm designed to study and understand the designs of other people. Classmates, coworkers, family, friends. It helps me to look at other people's charts because then I can learn and I can grow and I can be better at advising because I'm understanding other people. For me, it's all about the other. And that's why I'm offering these free reviews of your chart. If you'd like to go deeper, we can look at your chart, and it's helpful for me and it's helpful for you. So it's total win-win. So I love looking at other people's stuff, other people's charts. It's insightful, and I love sharing. But for me, what I've learned is to be invited into the invitation. And so we're going to get into our strategy and authority and our interaction style. Because how I interacted before I learned this was I would just give people all this unwanted advice, unasked for advice, and they wouldn't want it. And they're like, okay, thanks. And they wouldn't, and they were shut up or whatever they said. And I was like bitter and I didn't get it. I was like, what? So we're actually designed to, as advisors, to be asked and to give our advice, not just vomit it on people. And that's helped me a lot to just keep my mouth shut and say, would you like my feedback? And if they say no, then keep my mouth shut. If they say yes, then I have an invitation. So yeah, so understanding your type is how you can effectively make decisions, and create success is defined by you, satisfaction defined by you. So we'll start with the initiator. So this is Roman. So you're about 10% of the population. You are designed to get things started. You're the catalyst, the pioneers. You bring new ideas, movements, and direction into the world. Your presence naturally initiates things, and you're not here to wait for permission. You are the permission.
It's funny.
My dad, when he helped find my car. My dad, it's got to be an initiator. He like found my car. He bought it for me. He vetted it out. He brought an inspector. He 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 like moved the money around. He shipped it from Washington to San Diego, and he gave it to me as a Christmas gift. And then basically I saw the car when I came in there. I drove up and I saw the car, and I just immediately started crying because I knew that what he'd done. And the conversation was, how much do you want to pay me a month? And that was it. He did everything. He initiated the whole thing. It's the most amazing Camaro convertible, and it's got pinstripes, and it's awesome, and it's so fun to drive, and it's fast. And my dad liked it so much he bought one for himself. So yeah, a few years newer, and I think he got the 50th anniversary edition for himself. We like fast cars in our family, fast sports cars. It's what initiators do. You start things. Like, he just did it. He didn't ask my permission. I was in like BMW land over there somewhere, hardtop BMWs. He's like, nah, you don't want a BMW. I'm going to help you out, kid. I'll get you a Camaro, a real American muscle car. So initiators, you guys are best when you inform others before you take action. You probably informed my mom about this, but it reduces resistance and it increases receptivity to your energy, because you have this energy that's kind of like, get out of my way, I'm coming through. And so when you inform people before you take action, you don't necessarily need their permission, but you keep others in the loop, and then that prevents the pushback. So key indicators is how you're in alignment. So it's either peace or frustration or anger. Actually, it's more like anger. Yeah, anger or frustration. Okay. Yeah. And then your assimilation style is you take in information quickly, and then you get ahead of the curve. And your processing can happen in solitude or taking initial action. And in your chart, it will show you specifically what your assimilation style is. And then in your public role, you're usually bold and direct and driven, independent thinkers and trailblazers. And then your life work is to initiate transformation by starting new things. You won't necessarily be the one to finish it, but you'll be the ones to start it. Is there anything you'd like to say about that, Roman?
Yeah, get started. I'm pretty over my current employer. Like, and there's just so many things I see that no one's really looking. They're wanting to keep pushing, intelligence, which is fine. But what's going to allow the company to grow and expand and reach new heights and get to this level is getting down with their employees and helping them overcome whatever it is they're dealing with in life, to come to work ready to work. But it's pretty corporate. It's pretty you have to be here. It's pretty old school with technology being where it's at. Newer generations just don't vibe with old rules. And I'm living in the conflict and the friction, and it's just a headache, and it's until higher leadership in my company begin to really get down to who they're actually hiring today, because I think they're just going off a template of who used to be hired back in the 90s. Until they get caught up with like what the workforce actually is and how they process and how they view life, I feel like it's just going to be hiccups, and their profit margins are going to fall. And hopefully I'm starting something else before their destruction. Their self-inflicted destruction.
Yeah. You said something in there. You said, "Oh, new kids don't jive with old structures," or how did you say that?
Yeah, like just leadership is really hooked around.
No, but you said a very specific statement. You said,
Oh, I'm glad it was recording.
uh,
Um, yeah, like new generations don't vibe with old rules or something.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good. That's so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because it's literally like what is happening is like there's this new background
Yeah,
coming
it's
in,
like
and the old one doesn't jive, and we can literally feel it. And in this old mindsets, we need to like break them down and like reinvent
yeah,
to
it's
like
like
this new energy that's coming in the very near future. Like we have a very short window to reinvent ourselves for what is coming.
yeah, it's like the concept of like the workforce is now becoming a teenager, and the parents just don't know what to do. And it's kind of like hitting me right now in my life with my daughter. So it's really having to tap into, you focus on emotion, you can really start to move ground. And that's what's really happened in my house with my daughter and my family. It's not about force right now. Anyone can force. That's highly prevalent now in life. But to really shift things and move energy and to really get people to be heard and understood, you really want profound difference in life. It's understanding them. And then once they're understood, if it's still feasible to take the force action, it will be welcomed. But more is more abundant when um, I lost my train of thought. But more is more. More is done when both sides are heard versus forced.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for sharing all that. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on to builder. So this is Maureen. Oh, actually, Maureen, you're an express builder. So builders are about 36% of the population, and then the express builder is about 32, just a little bit less, but it's pretty much 50-50. Builders are here to like do what you're passionate about and sustainable, and they thrive when they're doing what they love, and their energy is designed for consistent creation and development and mastery. So it's my sister is a builder, and it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, step by step by step by step by step. So they engage through response rather than initiating. They wait for something external to respond to, and like an event or a question or opportunity, and then they come in and they respond. But they need to wait to respond, kind of like check in with their energy. They have this kind of energy resource. They need to check in. It's all those people that say, let me think about it. You know, those people, there's a lot of them. It's probably about 70% of the population. Let me think about it. And that's how they ensure their energy is efficient and their choices are aligned with their internal satisfaction, which is their key indicator. They want to feel satisfied. And these people, when they're not satisfied, they are frustrated. Ex-boyfriend was frustrated. And they can get resentful from doing work that feels wrong, doing things I don't like. Assimilation style is they process through repetition and hands-on experience. So it's clarity and growth over time. And public role can be reliable, grounded, productive, and it varies. And it'll show you your public role on your chart. But this is the energy that's very sustainable. It builds, it sustains, it grows, it goes. Yeah, so their life work is through consistent aligned energy. And then the express builder, which is 32% of the population approximately. And I have there's 4 different guys over there in the picture because the express builders are meant to be multi-passionate, to have lots of different passions. And I know express builders who, like my friend Andrea, she's a writer and a coach and a teacher, and she makes card decks, and she's a personal chef, and she's a vegan, and she's written cookbooks, and she has so many talents, so many she's like doing so many things. It feels like she's doing all of them at the same time. Like, how do you have energy to do all of that stuff? I couldn't get all that done in my lifetime. but they're multi-passionate and they do all these things, and they're designed to move quickly, to juggle multiple projects, to multitask, to skip steps, and to proceed forward very, very fast. My instructor in BG5 is a manifesting, or is a express builder, and she gets back to me like lightning speed with like this whole report. And I'm like, wow, she's fast. They're fast. You're designed to be fast. However, in your decision-making strategy, you're actually designed to wait to respond and then act quickly and confidently when the energy aligns. So it's kind of like you're waiting for the click, and then to click, and then it's like, and then go. And so with builders, it's really good to ask them yes or no questions, because they really respond with that style of questions. Initiators, on the other hand, don't really like questions. So make statements. It's better for them. And then assimilation style is very hands-on, very engaging. They thrive on clarity and a lot of, fast decision-making, or their own kind of internal decision-making. Clarity through decision-making through clarity. Yes, that's what it is. And then your public role, very energetic, innovative, fast-moving bursts of momentum. And your life work is to create powerful shifts in short, focused bursts, and then bring that energy and accelerate the process when used correctly. And then there's the advisors, which are 21% of the population, a little bit less. We're designed to work one-on-one, and we're here to guide others. We're strategic thinkers, mentors, leaders. We bring insight, clarity into teams and individuals. And we're not designed to necessarily work in big teams. We're designed one-on-one because our energy is very direct. It's like very, very focused energy. So I work best. I like working one-on-one. When I work in a group, I like to pop in and pop out, pop in and pop out. So personal interaction styles, we need to be invited to share our perspective. When we are recognized and welcomed, like I got invited to be on a podcast on Friday. I love that. I was like, yes. And she's like, it's in Naples. I was like, no. Naples is on the other side of Florida, so it's like a couple hours away. But I love being invited into things. And that's how I know when I'm being seen and recognized and welcomed. Decision-making strategy is like we're to wait for an invitation and recognition, and then correct opportunities come when I'm inside, when I'm seen and valued for my insight. And so as an advisor, like I get these really quick flashes of insight, and then it's gone. And if I don't act on it, it's literally just poof. So I've started to understand that I get quick hits, and I've got to grasp it in the moment, like be very, very present. Because I can rationalize it later. I can talk out of it. Like when I talked myself out of what I knew to be true for me with NLP 5 years ago, I could have been on the path, but I talked myself out of it. Oh, it's too much money. Oh, it's why do I need to learn all that stuff? Oh, that's too much stuff to learn. Yet my gut was like, yes, my conscious mind was talking me out of it. So I've actually like really stepped into this, and it's helped me to make little decisions, big decisions. All of the decisions is like flashes of insight and gone. So it's really being present. And we're very intuitive. And we need a system. So for me to really bring this to you, the timing is so amazing, because I just got 30 weeks into my BG5 certification, 30 of the 50 weeks. And the classes are about anywhere from like 2.5 hours long. So it's a very long program. And I could actually, after 3 weeks, start to teach this. So, but we need a system to teach from. So without this system, I really felt lost in being able to provide all the guidance. But with the system, chef's kiss. We're seen as insightful, wise, and perspective, and we hold leadership and advisory positions when we're in alignment. We are designed in our life work to guide others to alignment, efficiency, clarity, especially in how we interact with systems. So if anyone's watching this who is an advisor, this system is the system that really brought me to clarity on like literally everything. And then evaluators are so rare. 1% of the population. They're here to reflect the environment. There are mirrors. They're very deeply influenced by their surroundings because their whole chart is open. So they just pick up on everyone's energy. They're very observant. They're here to observe and evaluate and give us perspective and insight on what's working, what's not working. They're very slow to make big decisions. They need to wait like a full month, like a moon cycle, like 4 weeks. You got to wait it out to sample multiple perspectives and get clarity. Their key indicators in alignment is surprise and delight, and out of alignment, total disappointment, and especially in environments where they're out of sync with their needs. They take in information from many angles and require time to process it. So they benefit from variety and flexibility in how they engage with people. And then in their public role, they're seen as wise, neutral, empathetic, and others seek their input, even if they aren't always aware of why. And their life work is to calibrate, assess, and reflect back truth. And their purpose is not to do or guide, but to reveal what is aligned and what isn't. And those are the 4 career types, or 5 or 4. So this is an overview of all of the full analysis. Career types, personal interaction, decision making, key indicators, assimilation, environmental style, business skills, team, defined functions, distractions, public role, life work, thematics, strengths, traits, large business strengths. This is the whole overview. I go in depth in my full analysis. I have my services on the website, ggvancio.com. And then I'm happy to do a overview with anybody who would like to look at their chart and go deeper and see what the next steps are. And my Calendly link is there, calendly.com/ggvancio. And we could do an overview. And then we'll get into the lines in the upcoming weeks of how you could put together your business with your public role, your brand, your vocation, your culture, your prosperity keys. And these lines are, let me see if I can scroll. Enable scrolling. I want to scroll. I feel like scrolling. All right, where's the line? So these lines is like the 0.5, 0.1. So all of these lines are very, very specific, and there's a lot of really good insight that you can get from looking at your lines. So we'll go into the lines. Anything you guys want to share? Any ahas or anything you'd like to share with us of what you got, Maureen, about anything that we covered? I'd love to hear if you guys have any shares.
Well, what you said about your dad with the car, my son is a manifestor and he did the same thing. He gets me my cars, and even out of nowhere, like last year, he was like, I had mentioned I wanted to sell my car, blah. He's like, okay, and it was months later. Okay, I found your car. It's here. We got to go there. When are you coming there? We went, got the car. I sold my car to his girlfriend. It was like done deal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love hearing that there's another manifestor or another initiator who did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and that learning about this, I mean, initially through human design and learning about him and the difference between him and others has made an enormous difference for me. My life. So I'm looking at like through this lens for the initiator and what he's building or creating, how to have that conversation or get, the hardest thing I find is where he doesn't inform and not wanting to ask questions, but needing to know certain things. So we've
Look at
kind
Roman. He's like, yup. I was like, I gotta inform the peeps. I gotta inform the peeps
Yeah.
before I make moves.
all the time, but he will when he does. But yeah, so I'm looking to apply all this to the people in my life, including myself. Yeah, and I've been noticing um, how quickly I do things, and I've really been noticing the mistakes that I make because I go so fast. And when I go back to it's more in the translation for other people, the work that where it becomes an issue. For myself, when if I notice it, I just fix things. But in trying to communicate to others, what needs to be done or what I did, I go through it very quickly, and they often have to come back to me and like, okay, I didn't quite get this, or so I'm noticing that, which is good.
Amazing.
Nice.
So, yeah, you said moving too fast, and I think that's, like you're designed to move fast, but you can like move too fast. And we've all probably made mistakes when we were tired. We moved too fast. We made decisions too fast. We did things out of our way of making decisions, and there's just problems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for me, it's like finding a natural pace that I
Mhm.
can, especially if I'm working with a team, that I'm able to communicate it also within my pace, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's good.
Hmm. Can I say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've seen these charts probably off and on for a couple of years now, and they sparked interest, but it wasn't until I did one of your MER programs and got through like some release of emotions that, journaling and reading and um, my speed has really slowed down with the environment, with my daughter, home, and work. Like before, I was very like, what's wrong with these people? But, after the MER program with you and journaling every day, and getting that habit locked in, I've been really diving into my chart, and I've just been like really interested on like, so I have something to provide, but I have a lot of like open, undefined. They're not channels, but they're motors. What are they
Functions.
called?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Your functions.
Yeah, functions. So, um, it's I'm very more cautious about like who's around me. Am I contributing to them, or are we like not contributing? So it's really cool. Like it's like having like a little flashlight on like where I want to go and be. Um, so that's been very fundamentally like new in my life within the last like 5 months. Like life has just kind of opened up in a new light, and like I'm excited, and I just know like based on everything I did the lines, like I was very like shocked to find out what I'm like what I'm designed to do, because it doesn't really correlate with like how I was raised and how I was brought up, or how um the things I signed up for my corporate job, how I'm just like, why would I do that? But it made sense
Yeah.
before doing all this work. So it's like
Yeah.
having a like unconditioned life has been fun, new, and interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we do things that are so out of alignment. I mean, personally, I just did it for the money. I thought it would be good money. I chased money. Solar was really, really big in California. It's like a gold rush. They called it the gold rush.
Hmm.
And
Not so much a rush anymore.
Well, I actually got out just in time because net metering 3.0 came in and it crushed it. They started charging for batteries, which were $15,000. You had to buy a battery, and it killed solar basically.
What, selling solar for homes or what?
Yeah, solar on the top of your house.
Right.
I learned the whole thing, and I just was very uncomfortable.
That's interesting because my son started to go into that month we in middle end of last year, and the people he was working with, he was going to open up an area. They went there. Within 3 days, they said, that's it. Solar's not it. And they pivoted and shifted into energy conservation. And so now got a whole different avenue of what he's doing.
Wow. And where was he?
He's in Orlando, but he was working in Virginia.
Oh.
They were going to open up Southern Virginia. Yeah. Now he's doing what he was shifted to Florida, to Orlando for energy conservation.
Huh. Yeah, well, every state has their own regulations. So it just depends
Yeah.
a lot on where you're at.
Right.
Very interesting.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's been wonderful having you guys, and really appreciate the insights. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.